Let the record reflect that another board member, Gary Adrian Jones, just walked through the door. Will that be covered in the new business?
So repeat what you just said while you were talking. He came in, so he started talking, so I didn't get everything.
Well, we were, you know, the board had assured Mr. Meeker that we were going to make a decision in the upcoming month on what our intentions were and what his intentions to purchase the land across the street. I don't know if you were you here for the meeting? I think you were.
No, I wasn't here for that meeting because I was TDY.
No, but he doesn't need to.
I wasn't.
Oh, when you did the presentation?
Right?
Oh,
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
I was
Sorry.
on official business.
Presentation was sent via the mail, and also every board member did receive a copy of the email.
Yes, we wanted to give the community a chance to weigh in on the sale of the land to Mr. Meeker and Elm Street Development. So at this time, if anyone wants to talk about it, or have any questions about it.
Can you provide a background summary?
Let the record
Yes.
reflect that William Henderson, another board member, is in the audience.
There's a strip of land that's right across the street. If you enter on, you come in on Constitution, directly across the street, there's the same strip of land that's on our side of the street. That is owned by the Autumn Hills HOA. It's approximately about 100 and something feet long, or maybe 200 and something feet long, 1,200 feet long, I'm sorry. And it's about 8 feet wide. The development company, Elm Street Development, bought the land across the street, and they're in the process of developing, or in the preliminary stages of developing mixed-use housing. Essentially, majority, I think I'm in DC, the majority townhouses and some single-family homes. He has offered us $7,000 to $7,500 to sell the land to the HOA. And it's a decision that we have to make whether or not we're going to sell it to him, or if we don't sell it, he will decide two things: whether or not he's going to move down about 600 feet and build an entrance 600 feet down, or because of his votes and because of the amount of homes that he still owns, he has about 60 votes. 60 something. Times 10, 600 votes. So he could vote to purchase the land on his own. So that's where we're at with that. We did a presentation, PowerPoint, of the pros and cons of what the land ownership is to us and what it would be if we sold it. We also tossed around some ideas of what we could do with the money as an HOA and improving the community. So we asked homeowners who were present for that meeting if they wanted to weigh in, if they wanted to add or have any suggestions of what the thoughts are for that. So that's what we are.
Will the chair entertain a motion?
Yes.
Before we begin, let the record reflect that Rebecca is here.
Thanks, fine.
With that being said, I move that we convey the land over to Doug Meeker and Elm Street Development. And is that? I'm going to convey, sell the land, correction. I move that we sell the land to Doug Meeker and Elm Street Development. For the sale price of $7,000.
$7,500.
What's this?
$7,500.
$7,500. Let me say it correctly. I move that we sell the land to Elm Street Development and Doug Meeker for $7,500.
I second your motion.
I have a concern, and maybe I'm off base, but I'm gonna put it out there. This vote wasn't supposed to be kind of broadcast that we were voting on it.
Open session.
I understand what we put out to the community, that we would let them know when we had all the information when the vote would take place. And to my understanding, we haven't done that.
And according to the agenda sent to us in the email, we said we're only gonna be discussing this budget. That's it. We didn't say we're voting on anything other than the budget.
Well, by bylaws, parliamentary procedure, I said on the new business. Now,
We haven't gotten the new business yet, we're not to new business yet.
We can either vote it up, vote it down.
I wasn't
It's
here for
already-
the meeting, but if we stated to the community that we would provide them additional information, we haven't provided them additional information, then why?
That's
would they
incorrect.
vote?
Every homeowner receives an email, the ones that was here received an email, and then also in October, there was a mailing. Every owner got one.
Correct.
I'm right here, you don't have to do
But
all
we
that, okay?
didn't let the community know that we would be voting on this tonight, for any objections to come forth.
All right, I move to table my motion and to let it be in the December meeting. I'm sorry, January meeting.
I just want to be fair to the people who were here for that meeting, that.
Is there a second?
we had agreed.
Oh, I second that. And I have a question to your concern. Since we're talking about this, what additional information do you think that we need to provide the homeowners so that folks are aware, except for notice that we will be voting on in January?
There's a motion on the floor, you have to carry that first.
Oh, sorry. Thank you. I second the motion.
Anyone else have authority?
Yeah.
Okay. So table it, that's what I agree.
Motion to carry.
So,
We'll put it under old business.
Under old
January
business.
4th.
Now, I guess to answer your question about what's needed.
so and I know I missed one meeting in between, October, November, the one I just came back to one, I missed October, I think. So we showed them, we did have at that meeting the fronts of the buildings, which was, we were told them what the townhouses would look like, so we provided that. Did we, in the meeting I missed, did we take information from people, ideas of what to do with the money?
So there's been a process, well, let me step back. Everyone received information, they got a copy of the presentation, there were emails and mailings sent out. What has not happened, true to your point, is another question to the community asking for specific ideas. So between this meeting and the January meeting, I think that would be a good idea for us to do, to go back out to the community with another mailing, an electronic survey, whatever means possible, asking people if they have, well, first of all, not asking them if they have ideas, but rather, do they agree that we sell the land or not?
And
Because if
then-
they don't agree, then there's no need to ask for
Correct.
ideas.
Correct.
So we need to see where the community is on that.
Well, first of all, it's not a, if you're going by your rules, it is not a community decision.
I understand.
It is a board decision.
Correct, but we put it out to the community.
You put it
they
out,
have input.
correct.
So,
And I've not, for the record, heard any opposing views or dissent from the community about selling the land.
not as of this point.
Not as of this point, not as of today.
Does anyone send you any information, Frank?
No, I haven't got anything else.
Frank, from a secretary standpoint, today being the first, is there a way possible we can get this out by at least the 18th?
What are you asking to be mailed out?
If the community,
Ideas?
no, if the community opposes the sale of the land, or if they approve the sale of the land.
And I
They
think you
concur
can,
with
I think you can combine it, if you're gonna do a mailing or an email survey, I think you can combine it into, yes or no, do you want to? If yes, do you have ideas for spending the money? Here are things we have come up with. What would be your choice, or blank, add your own? And you
Okay.
can kind of combine it into one and then.
Okay, can we step back for a second? So I think we should table the discussion. I think there, because it's gonna take up our budget meeting, but I think that, yes, it is a board decision. Yes, we did go out to the community when we did this presentation to say, you guys, blah, blah, blah. We've not gotten to the income part yet. However, at this stage in the game, we all know that if we don't sell the land, he can just take it. So to me, it just seems like it's a non-issue to leave money on the table when we so badly need
I
money
agree with
into
that.
our just
I agree with
reserves.
that.
So, short of hearing any opposition from the community, I think we could really fast track this because we've not heard any opposition from the community.
We also didn't bring it up at a meeting and give them the opportunity to voice it. We gave them the information for them to process and think over, which is what we agreed to. And we have not said to the community on this day, we will be discussing and voting on said land, which would be where, as a community member, not a board member, I would have held my comments waiting for that.
Okay,
And I think
valid point.
we owe them that to do that.
So we'll do that via a mailing.
That's fine, I think
Okay.
that's
Get it to you,
sufficient.
get it to you, get the information, Frank, on what should be in the mail.
Yes.
Frank, is that possible to get out on me? I'm sorry, it takes 5 days, right?
Takes 5 days to process, so probably Friday it could go out, next Friday it could go out.
So definitely be out by the 8th of November, 8th of December, I'm sorry.
Have we already sent out notice, for the meeting in January?
No, it'll be in there as well. We sent out notice, yes, we sent out notice in the October meeting on what the dates of the meeting was.
Do we have one in January, guys?
Then we can.
Yes, it was there.
And it was January
And
4th?
also,
Correct.
so is it cheaper?
Yes.
Just a side note, we
Yeah.
can talk about this later, is that pushing that back, just to have a meeting in January.
Yeah,
We
January,
can talk about that
January 4th.
later, push back.
Oh,
Well,
push back.
Yeah, we can push back that January 4th date so that we can have enough notice to give to everyone so they can show up for the annual meeting in January.
Quick question. Now, if the mailing goes out on the 8th, the meeting's on the 4th, that's almost.
That's why I just said, we need to push back January meeting to later in January.
Yeah, he's
Well,
saying-
there's a lot of stuff, there's a lot of holidays, a lot of
Yeah,
travel,
we
there's a
can't.
lot of.
Well, this is
Yeah,
what
yeah,
we,
we can have a discussion.
So we can talk about that later, yeah, I just wanted to put that out there.
We can have
So
a
Christina, tomorrow I'll draft up if you want a letter and send it to
While
me.
you are talking about meetings, if you could make them like later, 6 o'clock is a hard time, getting here, even on a good day. So I'm not sure why we ended up with a 6 o'clock, but if we could push that back.
The problem is the library kicks us out at 7:30, so if we have a meeting at 7 o'clock, you only have half an hour to do anything.
And this is the only place that you can have a
You can
meeting.
go to the JC's at $100 a pop.
This is free. So we're saving the
But
fees.
then this is your show. I mean,
Or
most
we
of you
manage
were
our,
late.
or we manage
So-
our time to get in within 30
Exactly.
minutes.
Exactly. But
it
most
is.
of you were
I
late.
barely got here at 6 o'clock
Yeah.
myself, and I
Yeah.
didn't work at 4.
It's hard to get in at 6 o'clock.
Especially when you're working down.
the January meeting's supposed to be at the JC's anyway.
Is it?
Am I
No,
correct?
it was in room A, next door, the bigger room.
It's in the big room next door.
But
Since it's an annual meeting, paying $100 isn't unreasonable to have it at JC's.
Yeah, I think typically that it is so tough,
Very
hard
tough.
for me. I think typically that the turnout has been this in the past, over the past couple of years. This has really been a typical turnout.
Because of the time.
So, no, over the past couple of years, we just started doing the meetings at 6 o'clock. Over the past 4 years that I've lived in the community, or 5 years, this has been the turnout for HOA meetings, so it's not unlike this. This is very typical.
Will the chair entertain a motion?
Well, we can talk
For
about
7 o'clock for the library?
that. We can take a
Move the meeting to, we might as well, since it's on record.
The January 4th meeting is the annual meeting.
Yes.
So
We're gonna need more time to.
We need to
set
push
aside,
that back.
so.
Right.
But those notices will go out, we can discuss a meeting time and place.
So we'll be at
once the
7
board,
o'clock,
so-
possibly, JC. Can you source, I guess, one of the, what dates they have available over there?
Yep.
And we have to have the meeting anyway.
Obviously, I know there's only 4 of you here, but if you guys know of any free places that have a better time frame, you know, a little later, you know, send that to us too, because we're always, you know, if we can save money, we can look for somewhere.
Yeah, just to add my 2 cents, for the annual meeting, for annual meetings, $100 isn't unreasonable to have it at JC's.
I'm here.
Killing me, man.
I was saying, for annual meetings, it's not unreasonable to pay $100
I
for
agree.
JC's, but for like the open board meetings, this would be fine.
I agree.
Frank, you get with us on that?
Okay, thanks. So I didn't mean to throw a monkey wrench. Like I said, Christina, I'll draft something, send it to you, and see what you think of it before we send it to Frank for
You draft what? A letter?
a letter that, yeah, for the,
That's normally mine, but you can go right ahead.
oh, sure. so
No,
you
no, no,
can-
no, no,
Okay.
no, you do, because, the office has to.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Mhm.
And that letter should just be more of a,
Yes,
the,
we got it.
sort of
Correct.
We go from there.
You ready, Brian?
All right, well, for that.
What?
Next.
Sorry for the burden.
So we're gonna go with the, I guess everybody, I don't know if anyone needs an updated version of the annual budget. We have Naomi go through the line item.
Okay, so I just, before we jump into it, I would like to open it up to you all and say, are there any items on the budget that, you know, from what you have, that you think should be changed, should be increased, should be decreased, that you want to discuss? I'd like to start with those first.
What are CPA services?
That's the tax, you know,
Okay, so we had an audit done in 2015?
In
In 2015?
In 2015.
Right, we had one done this year, right?
We had
We did, it was
2014.
It was 14.
Did we get the results from that?
Those were shared months ago.
Months ago.
In July or August.
I've been every
Show you
every
another copy.
gathering.
Yeah, they were shared.
What we have-
They weren't shared with us.
No, they were shared, I think that was at the big meeting when we actually voted on.
I was at the big
It was
meeting.
shared there. It was handed out.
It was handed out. It was handed out.
Because I was around presented.
I presented it and it was handed out. We can get you a copy. Frank,
Say
can
so.
you
Okay.
get his email address, send him a copy of it?
I don't have a question about any particular line item, but questions on how you go about deciding your vendors and things, like your ground maintenance and things. Do you do like vendor, get a bid from like 3 different vendors? Do
Yes,
you do
ma'am.
like, that's your process?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay,
Sometimes more than 3.
okay. And then you make your.
So I will say, I don't know what the whole process has been, but in looking at the budget, this budget, and what we're currently paying, and what we paid the previous contractor, we're paying more for this contractor based on the records that I saw for the current contractor than we did for waste management. So I don't know what the differences are as to why we're paying more for them.
When we had the contract with Waste Management, we had less homes. We added more homes for that. So if you're looking at the original Waste Management contract, it's gonna be far different. That was 3 years ago.
We went
Did
from,
we
we
double,
what's
we went
the
down to one service?
It's significant.
went from a twice a month to once a month. And
Yeah, we did two-day pickups in the summertime.
2-day pickups
Versus,
that's gonna increase your
Well,
budget.
Waste Management originally was a 2-day-a-week pickup. It was decided that, because the HOA was bleeding in terms of, collecting debts, it was decided that we'd go to one day a week pickup. So that carried over to the new vendor. We wanted to have Waste Management work out, a better plan, a better deal, where we could do something that's similar to what we were doing in the summertime. They refused to do that. The management company contacted them on several occasions, and they just never answered the phone, never responded back, so we felt it was necessary to look for another vendor. And that's what we did.
So you're telling me, you're saying that she contacted a vendor and you want to give them more money and they didn't respond to you? Because I don't remember ever seeing an email about that.
What I'm telling you is, I'm gonna answer the homeowners in the audience. If you have a question, you stand and you sit up as a.
I'll sit
board
anywhere I
member.
want.
Well, don't ask me.
Well, let me
Don't ask me.
let me correct that, ma'am.
Ma'am, to
So can I
answer,
ask
excuse me, to answer your question, that's what took place.
I never seen that happen.
So,
Okay,
I'm
so,
sorry, your question.
so you said this was 3 years ago, but I ran this report today, and it's I did it from January of 15 to today, to December of 15. And there is not, this is still waste management, so it's not this is current information. This is a year of, well, a little less than a year of data.
You mind sharing what your information is?
I printed out, I went into where the board goes in, and I printed this stuff out.
Is
So,
that 2 day a week
so I'm
pickups or 1 day a
asking
week pickups that you were measuring your pricing for?
that
But
I'm
is she
pricing
saying
for,
her
this
prices
is
are
my
higher?
pricing, this came off.
No, I mean,
our
what are you,
website.
I'm talking about what you're reading. Is that 1 day a week or is that 2 day a week?
I know, but the prices are about the same regardless of when it is, if you look at the amount.
Okay.
It's about $3,100, I think, for waste management and, okay.
So is your question why we switched, or you?
It was
I
why
just,
did it
we
increase?
switched, but
Why was the
it
increase?
appears that we're paying more money
Okay.
for the new contractor, and so I'm just asking, why are we paying more money? And the response was, it's because we have more houses. However, this isn't 3 years ago, this is from January of 15 to December 1st of 15.
If you look at your contract, and I have to answer your question, is waste management, when they did bulk pickup, it was all inclusive. Goodie companies, when we do bulk pickup, it's not all inclusive. So in turn, if you have a bulk pickup, you call for a bulk pickup, that costs us extra money. It goes back to what we were talking about earlier, of having a bulk pickup maybe once a month for the whole neighborhood.
Okay, so let's be clear, I don't want to confuse anything, but that printout is not for bulk pickup. If we're paying $3,000 for
No,
bulk
I'm not
pickup.
saying, that's not what I'm saying.
Okay, let me say this too. We tell the contractor what we want, what services we want from them, and we are the people that guide how they propose. But from what I've seen, that's not how we've done it in the past, and that's where we're trying to get to, saying, here's what we want, here's how often we want you, the frequency that we want you to pick up trash. Just like now, we only give once a week trash pickup. And that's built into their pricing, but they still should be able to tell us that, okay, when you go to once a week, here's how much it costs for the pickups that I'm doing. So when we add a house or we add 10 houses, they should charge the same
There
price.
is a copy in the contract, and frankly, if you can get her a copy, that tells you what per container is and what the cost is per house. If that's what your question is.
No, I've seen that.
Okay.
What I'm saying is, we need to draft up our own statements of work, and we haven't done that so far. Okay, that's where I'm getting.
I can agree with that.
That drives the cost,
Well-
because we're telling them what we want done, instead of them coming to us, telling us what they want done, and we're comparing apples to oranges, instead of an apple-to-apple comparison.
Well, I get your point, but I get
The
your
difference
point.
in what?
No, I get your point, what you're saying. We do have a statement of work for every contract that we have accepted here. We don't just go out and blindly go, hey, we want work performed, and you tell us what we want. Every customer, every client that comes into this board that bids their service, we walk the property, we tell them what we want, what we expect to have done. Now, the statement of work could be more detailed. I agree with that 100%, but I disagree with the fact that if any person on this board or any member of this community think we just blindly walk out and say, you know what, we just want to throw money in the air and you guys take it. We walk the ground, we tell them what we want. Now, we may not have been as educated now, we may not have been as educated back then as we're learning now. And we certainly appreciate you coming on board to help us with the, sending out RFPs. But by no way or means have we ever just said, hey, just do this and we're going to take what you tell us to do. So, with that being said, all contracts are bidded out. We try to do 3 or 4 companies. If there's a local company that the management company has used for a small job, where job is $1,000 or less, we usually don't bid those out. They become a bit time consuming, and nobody wants to bid out a job that they're going to only make about $500-600 on.
So when you,
So what's low price?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
if a tree fell down in the homeowner's backyard, and that tree costs $300 to remove, based on if it's our landscaping company that we have at the time and they're able to do it, we usually say, okay, yeah. As opposed to spending, $300 worth of your time or worth of the management time trying to bid out 3 contracts. Now, if that's something that you guys want to change, that's up for discussion. But a project of that size doesn't require, in my opinion, 3 or 4 bids.
So we're paying more overhead. When you have these onesies and twosies, we're paying more overhead. So we're paying more money to get work done. So we do need to consider how we are paying for work, and we need to put like services in one contract, and it can be an as-required service. So when we need it, we just have the contractors come out and do it, but it's already pre-priced, not someone coming up with a price. And if it's
Because
one
you don't know what
person,
it is.
That's not us.
Not possible.
Like, we've got two
it's
places.
possible.
Well, we've got two places right now that have trees that have fallen.
And each one of them has
And
different
the
costs.
Dennison is going out to get it. They can't tell me what the price is to take all that down without getting the equipment dispatched out there and how many man hours it's gonna take to get it down, what obstacles they may have to encounter to get into it and stuff
Well, you
like
need to
that.
find another contract, that's
Okay.
my opinion, because they're the experts in if they're the experts in tree removal and they do it all the time, they should be able to come out and tell you that. And if they're telling you that they can't do it, that's a bunch of BS.
Well, it's not their
It
specialty.
sounds like, it sounds like that because we can't plan for every single incident that's gonna happen, we have to kind of roll with the basic things that we know we need, right? The basic, like you said, the statement of work.
Right.
The onesie and twosies, I mean, they come up as they come. Some years we might not have any, some years we might have some.
You're right, that's the reason why you put a line item in the contract to say as required. When we
Okay.
need tree removal.
Let me ask this.
They
Well,
do that.
in the meantime, we have a contract for the landscaping that's up.
December 31st.
Are you going to help us with that?
What do you mean, am I gonna help you? I provided you solicitation
Okay,
and
we
a
got
draft
that.
contract with no quantities in it,
Okay.
because as has just been stated here, we know what the quantities are, but no one's giving them.
Okay,
out.
so
What do you mean?
the landscape.
No one's giving me the quantities. I sent an email out, I asked you guys for the quantities, I have yet to receive
Quantity of
them.
what? A
When
tree?
I receive the quantities, I can send a
She's
solicitation
thinking, talk
out.
about the acreage for the land that needs to be cut.
I sent an email out the other day and asked if you want me to share what I have in my,
We can talk offline.
no, I'm doing an open meeting. I sent an email out, and I know I did, and I said, in my Dropbox, if you need me to share the plans, send me your email address. No one replied.
Dropbox is the
It's a
plan.
simple
I
quantity.
have.
No, what I'm saying is, I'm saying this.
There's a difference
You're
between
saying about the
plans and telling me that we have 40 acres of grass
Well,
that
ma'am,
needs to be
You
mowed.
look at the information and you read the plans. It's in there.
Thank
But
you
you want
for
me to
your
read it for you? I asked if you want the plans.
As
I
a
have 3
compromise,
masters,
as a
so I can read very
compromise,
well.
as a
Well,
compro-
you
as
didn't
a
send me an email, ask me for the
compromise-
information.
That's all remaining time.
But
That's
you
all
said in
remaining
an
time.
open board meeting, you said you didn't get the information.
As a
You need
compromise,
to remain calm.
So that's not right.
As a compromise.
Order.
When I sent the information out,
As a compromise, I can look at those
Amazing.
and provide you that information.
The question is the
Can we
board.
go back,
Yeah.
can we go back
Yeah,
to the question, because all of this right here is wasting my time. Back to the cost and how we do things. Okay, we get bids,
Yes.
but as she stated, comparison to last year and this year, we're paying more. We're actually receiving less services. Although there are more houses, they're also paying a fee, so that really shouldn't be a factor in this. Why would it cost more this year than it did last year? That was,
First question, could you please give me the delta when you say we're paying more? What's the delta?
Did you get my paper back over there?
That's right, I did not.
So I just brought up the December 2014, and it looks like in 2014, we paid $46,384 for trash removal.
From good or from waste management?
I'm just saying, in 2014, we paid $46,384. In 2015, which is now, and we only still have another month to go, we've only paid $41,536. It's about a $5,000 difference, but still $5,000 less than what we are for 2014. Yes, they are very close in amounts. And yes, we are receiving less services, so I can agree with Pam. We should try to, and since she's a contract expert, we are putting her on it to do the contracts, do the statement of work, so that's how we're working it. Forget all the other stuff, Pam is on it, okay?
but also in that amount, you have the bulk pickups. So I don't know what's the amount of bulk pickups. I know we've had several bulk pickups.
What's the amount what's the amount for a bulk pickup? Is it $150 or?
No, it varies on the number of
Varies
items.
on
Is what?
varies on the number of items, how many
Okay.
truckloads it takes to get it out of there.
Okay.
I do know the one that was on, I think the last one, that's not far from you, on Constitution,
Yeah, that's
that
fine.
foreclosure, that was like $500. I do know that.
Why would we
And
not
we
have
voted to vote.
bulk pickup added into the contract, so it's not a different fee every time somebody calls?
Well, actually, that's what we've discussed is when we renew contract or work into, is to have like a once a month or a bi-monthly or bi-weekly or, whatever is cost effective for the whole community. So if you miss that day, we'll hold on to your junk for till the next one, but you'll know when it is. It's planned, it's already worked in, which will give us a lesser cost because it's accounted on financial gain for the company, which means they'll be a little more reasonable to.
It's not gonna work. The reason why it's not gonna work, because you can't control homeowners putting their stuff out.
Well, we can
And
do that.
Right, we can request that, which we've done in the past, over and over again. But
What about a dumpster?
if a homeowner puts their junk out, and you're the next door neighbor, and you have to wait for another month, and that junk's sitting in front of your house, you're not gonna be too pleasant when you pull up in your driveway to see that.
What about a cost,
So that would
cost for a
require,
dumpster for a month?
so that would require us to have an emergency bulk pickup. Now, if we could control the neighbors and said, hey, we can only put it out this particular time, that would be a perfect storm.
As a community, and I don't know this, so.
What's the cost for a dumpster a month? What's the cost to have a dumpster per month?
A dumpster where?
You can put it at we have to decide a place to put a dumpster, but the question is, how much would it cost to have a dumpster put there? Have a dumpster put there for bulk, and then have it picked up once a month versus what you're saying. Now, the other question you would have is, will people bring it to the dumpster? But the question is, if we had a dumpster, what would the
Is it
cost
gonna
be?
sit there for a month?
I don't
And where are you gonna put it at?
I mean, it's,
Yeah.
well,
I
I'm
don't
just
know.
saying.
He makes.
Well, what I'm saying is, I understand what everybody's saying, but if you're talking about what are people putting in the dumpster, what's going on? People are trying to move, and they put out stuff on the front lawn, and then you have to call someone to come and pick it up. If there was a dumpster that was sitting somewhere, or if we gave out that dumpster that people can, if you had a dumpster sitting somewhere that people could load the stuff into, that's out of the way and unsightly, or put something up to blind it or a tent or something, then you could do that.
Except you run the risk
Go ahead.
of over dumping in a dumpster.
But if you have the dumpster and it's the monthly dumpster, and you say your monthly, but say it becomes full, wouldn't it be cheaper to have that one time come over to pick that up and dump another dumpster, or it would not be cheaper?
Maybe, I don't know, and the reason why we don't know is because we don't know the frequency of how often we're gonna need it dumped. So if you set a dumpster out there and for 5 months, nothing goes in there, that's money that we wasted.
Wasted.
So the best way to do it is to put it in there as a required service. We provide notice to them, we tell them how often that bulk pickup is gonna be, and we tell them, if you don't use that date, then you're gonna have to wait till the next date roll around and you ticket them like you do for everything else.
And my question.
What do you do?
That's what
So
I
my
would-
question again is, what do you do when someone dumps their stuff out in front of your door and you can't get in your driveway, but the stuff's sitting out front and it's another month before the bulk
What
pickup?
I do?
Well, why would
I
someone
take it to
dump
the
something in your
landfill,
driveway?
and I'm gonna charge them.
No.
That's what I'm gonna do.
Yeah, but that's
Why would
you
someone,
do, but
why,
that-
why would your neighbor dump something in your driveway?
It's been
No,
happening.
I'm not saying in your driveway, but when when people put stuff out, we've had a homeowner that's right across from the pavilion who moved out, and their stuff was impeding the person's driveway.
That was a
They-
foreclosure.
did
That was
the
a
homeowner
foreclosure.
put
Yeah,
that
we
out, or
don't
did
have
someone
control
else
over
put it
that.
out?
Right, but we're talking about a managed
Whether
community,
it's a foreclosure or not.
non-foreclosure related.
But whether it's a foreclosure or not, doesn't matter. They left it and they rolled out, and the homeowner had stuff that he had to move from his driveway over,
What we're
so he
saying
can
is-
get in. So even if, we can't expect the homeowners to act responsible like, the crew we have here, right? We're probably all responsible enough to know that we wouldn't do it, we'll follow the rules.
Well,
We
in other
have homeowners who are
in other
breaking the
neighborhoods,
rules.
what they do is they put liens on homes, and
We
they
do that
charge
too.
people
We do that too.
if they've gotta go and cut lawns, if they've gotta
Here's
go
another
We do that,
and
we
do
do that
that.
too. We
Here's
do
another,
that too.
here's another consideration.
But that doesn't stop the trash in front of that house for the next 30 days.
So here's another consideration that we all need to be aware of. We actually have squatters living in empty houses in this neighborhood.
We've had two.
And not only that, we have short sales, we have empty homes that don't have squatters, and we have foreclosures, right? So in as much as we want to take out all of those other variables and we just deal with the homeowners, the reality of the situation is that we have several other variants of residents within our community. And so when we start to think about whether we're going to get a dumpster, if we're going to do a bi-monthly or bi-weekly bulk pickup, we really need to take into the consideration the realities of our neighborhood. And although as homeowners, because we're vested in our neighborhood, we probably wouldn't put our trash in another person's driveway, we also have to be prepared for the contingencies and how we're going to deal with that. And those are unknowns, right?
So are you saying, for example, squatters would then go and get this trash and then take it to the house and live in it? Like, what's your point with
My
the
point is-
squatters
okay,
and
so
the
my point
different
is this,
people?
let me just break it down a little bit further.
Okay.
My point is this, squatters don't have an interest in this neighborhood, be it your home, my home, or the man's home down the street. Squatters, because I've seen it, will poop in driveways, mess up homes, everything else. So, follow my point here, when squatters have trash, they don't care where they're dropping the trash. It's not even in the home that they're squatting in. It could be on your front door, any of our front doors. What I'm saying is that there's always a possibility of unknowns related to trash that we all need to be aware of. Foreclosures included. When the banks come, the sheriffs come to evict people, they don't care where they leave that stuff.
I understand your point about
Okay.
that. I want to acknowledge I understand your point about that.
Okay.
I want to get back to the point about picking up trash.
Okay, can I-
That's a separate, issue.
Pick up.
And I appreciate you making that point. But we're talking about bulk
Let it
pickup.
finish, let it finish.
Here's a suggestion.
One moment, Michael, if you will. Understand the point variances, understand the bulk pickup and kind of what do we do and why would somebody do
Yeah.
that, and I understand.
Yeah,
So-
I really don't care about the why. I want to
Okay.
care about the resolution.
Correct, so.
You want somebody to come pick up the trash.
Yeah, let's get the bulk.
Yeah.
If bulk was scheduled,
Man-
and we manage the community, excuse me, I'll let you speak in a minute, but I need to finish my point.
I was speaking.
And we manage the community and we manage bulk pickup, okay, through the normal channels. I understand my squad is a separate situation. They deal with cops and legal and all that stuff. I'm not talking about that.
It's a normal channel.
Okay, but I'm talking about bulk pickup and we manage the community and residents understood that there's a fine. You have Wednesday for your bulk pickup, just like we have recycling. Does the recyclable bin stay out into the next recycle? Do we have recycle? When the county doesn't pick up, is it all over people's yards? How is this any different?
We don't have
It's
to
a
do
managed
to
pickup.
find someone.
I have the floor, please.
Thanks.
Thank you for your question. And I understand your point, Christina. I have a question, and please let's, yes or no answer. Has this community before done a regular bulk pickup schedule? I don't know because I have not lived here long enough, so.
Not that I know.
We have done one time, maybe once or twice, where we had either the seller, the Ryan Homes or Meeker drop a dumpster
Okay,
on the
so-
backside of Longleaf. And
Okay.
that was told to the community, you can go over and throw stuff over to the. Now, we do plan on doing that, we have a spring cleanup, where we ask for the dumpsters to be delivered for people who want to clean out their garages and things like that.
Okay.
But there is no, per se, bulk pickup
And that hasn't
location.
happened in this community yet?
No.
Okay, so therefore, we don't know how the community would respond to, if I know there's something coming up, am I just gonna put it out in the yard? Or that's something that has to be seen, so we can't guess to that. The other thing I was gonna ask is there, and I'll get you 1 second, Mike, I promise. Is there a way, and I don't know the legalities of this, so I could be way off base, but should we have those one-offs, like you're speaking of those variances that we're speaking of, where we have members of the community who are willing to be help for the
No.
cleanliness?
No,
No one.
no, for
To
the
do what?
variances, no.
We can't do that.
And also, too, you have to look at liability. If you have someone pick up garbage and trying to deliver garbage, they
No,
became
no,
injured.
I'm sorry,
I'm
I'm sorry,
I'm
go
talking
ahead.
about individuals who would like to volunteer their time and services, and then
To
the
do what?
HOA.
To pick up the garbage?
Yeah.
We already do that. Most people already do that.
Most people do that already.
But I'm saying,
I
yeah.
know I did.
You're talking about bulk pickup. If they picked up something and injured themselves, we would become liable. That's what I'm saying.
No, I'm saying people who volunteer.
If
to
they
do it,
volunteer,
because-
still, you have to have sign of release.
Yeah.
It's liability. It's liability.
If somebody,
Yeah.
Okay, so
So here
it
is
was a
my
question.
recommendation. We cannot account for all every contingency that's gonna occur on a contract.
All right.
So we should schedule a bulk pickup. We can start with a quarterly, and if we see that there's more need for it, then we can increase the frequency of doing the bulk pickup. But having a dumpster out there, I don't know that that's cost effective, because we may waste more money than actually utilizing the dumpster. So we do need to notify the homeowners of when we're gonna have it picked up so that they can put the stuff in there.
And that was my point.
Oh.
We haven't yet done that as a community, so I think we start there.
So,
Okay.
And then we
to
find.
answer the lady's question, I think she raised, and you make a valid point that we should do that. Now, when a homeowner puts something out that's in between the bulk pickup time, is there a way, because obviously we're not gonna have that sit out there, we're gonna have to have that removed. Is there a way to find that homeowner for doing that?
No, we don't have, it's not in our bylaws.
Well,
The ability, you would have to.
we actually do have finding provision in there. Yes, under enforcement.
Okay, so there's a way.
I was gonna say, change the
So
bylaws.
there's a way to do that.
All right, so I'm listening to all the different conversations, and I see the different concerns. I'm listening and trying to see if there's a way to balance all of them. Now, there is potential for basically, some individuals may know that they're gonna have some big items, and they may want to, you know what, I'm gonna get rid of it. Well, we can modify the contract and say they can accept as long as they pay directly to the man, to the waste management company. Say, there is a way that I've seen it done in the contract where they can call and say, hey, I got a couch I need to get rid of. So I'm willing to pay the $100 to get it moved out. And then you have also the other option where you say, okay, we can have scheduled pickups as well, because they don't, I can wait, I can let it sit in my garage for a week or whatever, or a few months, because I can just wait till the next pickup comes along. So you give them the multiple options, and then you also, basically, upon request, basically, you say, hey, the manager, the trash company or homeowner reports it and says, hey, I see this item sitting out here, then we can schedule an emergency pickup and have that come through as a separate fee. And then that way, we hit all three of the different areas at once. And then that way, we can see what the budget comes out and see if we can adjust up and down as to what the actual outcome will be. So, for example, we end up with 10 bulk pickups, individual ones, and we know, hey, well, this is maybe working because these people just wanting to pay for it themselves. And then you may say, well, we need 4, or we need only 2, community-wide pickups, because we're basically in a position where we see people aren't really using it but only twice a year, or they are using it actually 4 times a year. And then that gives it the option. Then we have the emergency option in place where something comes up and you say, look, this is unsightly and we need to get it addressed. And we also say, hey, report it out. It gets picked up with the next collection run or whatever. Whatever scenario can work with the current traffic.
I think that's a super idea, and it's 7 o'clock, so I want you guys all to work with me, because this is a budget meeting. And so if you could try to contain yourselves, I know people have questions about other things and comments, let's try.
No, I
Because
just
we haven't gotten to any of
we
these
just
items.
need to make sure that we articulate to the contractor, because this is how contractors operate. If you call them out and they don't understand the difference between an individual and our contract, they're gonna bill us. So we need to make sure that they know, that the homeowners know, and the contractor knows, that if an individual calls you, it's not part of a scheduled bulk pickup, it's their responsibility. Don't send us an invoice, thank you very much, we need to deal with the homeowner. But
So
that
let's
is
go
going
back,
to come up.
right, we can work all that out when we do that
When we
contract.
got the contract.
It's 2 years from now.
So,
Right, that's what I'm saying, we can work it
Great.
out.
Wait, you're saying that we were our current trash, for 2 years, 2 more years?
Yes, it's a 3-year contract.
Because going back to her numbers, we're basically paying 50% more.
I
no,
don't
we're
get
paying the
that.
same. We're
We're
paying
not,
the same.
we're not paying because we had 50%
What's the
less
difference?
services.
No, we're
We're
not.
paying less.
Because good was.
We receive trash pickup twice a week, you're only receiving it once, you get those 3 months.
We weren't getting, when we were with waste management, we were getting 1 day a week pickup.
Somebody picked up mine twice a week.
No, we had
Not-
twice a
not-
week.
No, no.
Yeah, we, someone picked
Waste
up my trash
management,
twice a week.
twice a week.
it started out as
Twice.
twice a week. But I don't.
In the last year, it
No,
switched to
right,
once
so
a
it was
week.
once a week.
So we've paid essentially almost the same amount for less
Pretty much,
services.
pretty much, you're right.
I know,
Or
I
2 day a
know, I
week
do
pickup.
this.
All right, so let's just get back to.
Thank you
the
for that.
budget, please. Thank you, yes, I got you.
But
let's
going to
get,
the, but
so let's get back to the budget, because right now, since we're on we have 2 more years left to the contract. Looks like our budget numbers for trash removal is pretty much gonna stay about the same, unless we can somehow wiggle out of our
So
contract.
I'm trying to figure out, where does it say we have 2 years, because an option means exactly that.
It was a 3-year contract.
Can you work that out?
It could be a 1 year with
offline?
2 option years.
It
It could be a 1 year with 2 option years, so we
If
don't
we
have to
can
take
get
those
out of that
options.
contract,
That's
that'd be
correct.
great, but
I
that's
just did,
something-
I just did a contract with option years, you don't have to take those
Okay,
options.
so
So that's, we can address that.
and see if we can end that.
But back to the budget for 2016, we don't know if we can break out of the contract, we don't know what, but for 2016, our trash numbers are gonna be about the same, right? Cool, you're all with me. So, just getting back to the proposed budget, I put a line item in here for the possible sale of land for the $7,500. Everybody kind of with me, you okay? Gotcha.
Yeah, where's that at?
It's on the,
she needs a revised
Not
copy.
numbered.
it's
She needs a
ready.
revised copy.
Yeah, they got it.
Give her a revised copy.
Can she have this copy?
Yeah.
And again,
So this is not what was
It's
mailed.
been on the top.
No,
It's the top.
no, no.
these are very rough numbers, I just want to put it out there, they're not to be used for
So
any sort of official
I'm working off the wrong
purpose.
thing. Hold on, let me catch up. Thank you.
So very rough numbers, again, we haven't even discussed any of these numbers, very rough on the top of my head, so that's why I'm asking you guys for your input. Sale of land, you guys heard me, possible, $7,500 of income, if we voted to sell the land. If we can skip down to the expenses, underground maintenance, line item 6352, snow pushing.
What's snow pushing?
Snow,
Who
it's-
does that?
Snow removal.
Who does that?
Can we get into that after? Because right now this is budget. So with numbers, I'm sorry. We
Well,
gotta work on
the numbers of, okay.
we can get on that later, but, so as far as snow removal, it seems like it's a mild winter, that's why I'm kind of thinking like $1,000 for 2016.
I think we should have a little higher number on that.
Huh?
It was the same for 2015.
For 2015, it was
$1,000.
1,000, actually, maybe I did not get that. I think I wanted to knock that down a little bit, but maybe we should stay for 1,000
No, we
just to
should
be
be like,
safe.
maybe like 12, because they said that you're supposed to be a little more harsher the winter.
You think so?
No, that's what the almanac
That's what
says.
they're
This year.
predicting.
Yeah, they're predicting a harsher, so I think we should be around a little bit higher than that.
So for 2015, it looks like we only spent like $200 on snow.
That was we had nothing.
That was nothing.
That was nothing. This year's supposed to be harsh.
All right.
Better be
so-
safe than sorry.
All right, so we'll say 1,200. Just so it's only a budget. And I'm going, I know I'm skipping through this kind of fast, but these are just things that popped out to me. If anything else pops out to you, please bring it up.
On the, ground maintenance, I say that we're budgeting, based on this document I'm looking at least,
Yeah.
it dropped significantly, just wanted to kind of get an idea.
Ground maintenance,
Thought process behind it.
60/41?
the 41 and the 40.
Yeah, where was that, the 216?
Again, I mean, we don't know, we're kind of just like throwing a dart in the air. That's just a rough number.
So in
Did you
regards
figure
to
in the new
ground
street, too?
maintenance,
That's a good point.
Did you figure in the new street?
No.
So it might need to be a little
That's a-
higher, because we have
that's a good
that whole
point.
other street too. The street that you live on,
Yeah.
that's all new down through there. That should be coming on.
So last year we spent, or I'm sorry, for this year, we're at right now at about 40,000, what's my little number?
Grounds maintenance, you have it at 6,000 for 2015, projected was 9748, and you have proposed at 4,000. You're saying it needs to be at least higher because of
The new streets.
Yeah,
And my question to you is, so even if it's higher, even if you put it back to 6,000 at the 2015 budget, looks like we've already spent almost 10,000 related to ground maintenance, so that number may need to be significantly higher than the 4.
and notice those were some onesies, those tree removals, so
Yeah,
we
that-
don't,
Under
that's
that
why
ground-
we're
and
not
under that
down.
grounds maintenance for the projected actual, that
Yes.
includes that list of trees that I sent out to
Mm-hmm.
you folks.
Okay.
Replacement of trees.
Replacements and
So-
removals.
Okay.
So now we have a budget line item for tree removal
She has a
for
question.
2016 at
Okay.
$3,000.
So,
Oh,
and
so
I
she has a
assume
line.
that those trees were replaced and removed as a result of storms, Irene, hurricane, whatever that came through?
Trees
or-
died. These are trees in the common area.
Oh, I see.
So should we, so
In front of the homes.
so are you saying we should still budget for a possible,
At least 10 grand?
It's part of the solicitation
Yeah.
for,
To be
for tree
replaced.
removal.
all right, so we'll bump that up. to
There are other
10,000.
things
To
that
10.
I'm not sure were considered either. like the swells and stuff? Is that part of this?
Nope, that's another line
That's
item,
another
but
line
before we move on to your question.
But tree removal is not a big part of this budget, is it? I mean, because I wonder what kind of trees we have that if this is what
The
we're
dead
doing.
trees inside the,
Lots of
the,
trees.
They're
inside
just
the
dying,
common
not
area.
falling over.
Yeah, in the common area,
Yeah,
front
the
row
common
store.
area.
Yeah.
Yeah, like behind my property, you see that common area that has these trees?
And any trees between the street and
Yeah.
the sidewalk?
Yeah,
That we
trees.
got
is a lot
Just
of
those
trees.
trees.
We had to replace those too.
All right, so 10 seems about reasonable.
I think we should probably make that like 15.
You think so?
To put,
Well, if we're gonna have a
is that
strong,
for the-
a
Is
winner,
that for the new streets and the new pieces of the neighborhood that are
You're
coming
figuring in
online?
also the new trees, but you're gonna be also, I don't think you guys are even considering about, if you guys wanna do that mulching again, you need to consider it down those two streets, because we didn't do that the last time, because they were still under Doug Meekers. And those are about, I think, I don't know how many homes that is, but I would say it's about maybe like 20 or 30 homes.
Okay.
20 or 30 homes, and then you gotta also think about, you guys are not even thinking about that pond that sits there, we're not even taking care of yet.
Is that a separate line item in terms of mosquito abatement? Is that?
Yeah,
That's not
that's a
mosquitoes,
separate-
we're not
that's a-
talking about mosquitoes, we're talking about just groundkeeping.
That's a separate line item, and that is 9136, a pond, oh wait, that's pond fence, storm drain pipes.
9201.
92.
Is that the one you're talking about?
Stormwater
Yeah,
management.
stormwater
but
maintenance.
taking care of the grass and stuff, should that fall under our contracted lawn maintenance
Sure,
service?
That-
should,
yes,
It
absolutely
should,
should.
once we take it over from Meekers,
That's the line.
In all of the ponds.
should fall under that, yeah, definitely. So all of them should fall under the
So it's a
contracted lawn
reasonable
maintenance.
amount then to be inclusive of everything, $20,000 for grounds maintenance. So we've built in a cushion for tree removal and replacement, regular grounds maintenance, ponds grounds maintenance. I don't think we've been doing that, and then.
Yes, we
the
should.
streets
We
that-
have.
We have
did that a
a
lot.
contract with the.
Okay, and then the streets that are coming online.
Okay,
So does 20 sound reasonable?
I think we can split that 20.
Okay.
Yes. We can split that.
Yeah, you're not combining that with the pond. Okay.
Exactly. The reserve
So are you
amount
putting 20 for that line item?
and the operating expenses being commingled.
No.
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 Huh? Are you putting 20 for that line item?
I'm gonna spread the 20 between, all those are separate line items that you called off, so I have to spread that.
Quick question about the consultation.
Uh-huh.
So the $2,000.
Can you give me a line item?
I'm sorry.
I got her, 8082.
Okay. So does that involve when you're specifically speaking to, Denison or Waste Management or, I'm sorry, Good now? Like, what is the consultation?
Let's check with Frank, because this
808.
year we didn't have it, so Frank, are you familiar with what's in the consultation?
8082?
I have no idea.
No.
I don't know where that came from. I don't know if it was for engineers, for the stormwater management area, or, I don't know what it is.
Yeah, I was just wondering in general. That's the
Yeah.
only
It needs to
reason.
be eliminated.
Okay, so let's eliminate. Oh, wait a minute, no, that says cover 2015 audit and taxes, so that was a CPA consultation.
But you got that at
No,
88.
The one below, 8082.
Oh, okay.
That one.
Okay.
We can remove
So
that
we'll
line.
eliminate that, because.
I just was curious. I didn't know what it was, that's all. That was my only question.
No, that's too great, we can put somewhere else.
Yep, exactly. So, under administrative and management postage and also copies, printing supplies, since we've kind of bumped up our communications, right? That's our whole goal. And so we're gonna be spending more on printing, on postage, on all of those things. So we gotta bump that up.
Or we should post stuff
Electronic.
in an electronic format.
Now
Exactly.
everybody gets access.
But it
Everybody
says a
gets access.
website. I mean, I see a line item for a website. What is the website?
They don't have one right
We
now.
don't have one.
Everybody.
That was,
That's the
that was a previous, so that was on last year.
Yeah, electronic.
That line item
Not
can be
everybody
removed
has
as well.
access.
The website line item can be
Yeah.
removed.
Not everybody has access. That's an assumption that you make that you can't.
The website, we're gonna do
But if we have
that.
the website, then people can opt off or opt out, they can say, I want a paper collection, or they can know that they can go to the website, and then you can click off, and that would lower your printing.
Yeah.
did
I think
that
for,
today.
I think in the interest of
You
being
wouldn't send your-
transparent, which is what we're trying to do now, let's just, shovel the paper out until we have a better solution, because right now we
Well,
don't.
I think that's what he's saying.
Yeah.
We can come
What
up
I'm
with a better
saying is, I'm
solution.
not saying
Opt out.
change that, I'm saying is people can opt off or on. I
Oh,
want a
gotcha.
paper copy,
That
or I
makes
wanna
sense.
download it off the website.
That makes sense.
And then we might end up saving money.
And we can put that on the website.
So, wait, but that's, well, okay, excuse me, but here's a question. This cost for 24, okay, so we paid out $14.22 for a website in 2015. We had,
$948.
are we on 8061?
You looked at
Yeah, yeah,
You're
yeah.
looking at.
That's the projected.
That's
Okay,
projected.
so my question is, we don't have a website.
Yeah, we're gonna cover that.
So we're deleting this,
Yeah,
right?
we just.
Okay, I'm sorry. Okay. My eyeballs have to catch up with my ears.
While we're on the topic of the copying, last meeting, Mr. Valentine mentioned that a former employee with the Century Management was cheating us, charging us 15 cents a copy, where it was opposed to 5 cents a copy. What have we done, or what are we going to do to recoup that money, or
That's under investigation.
file some criminal charges?
That's not necessary. It's under investigation with our accounts payable department down in Florida, and when they get it to me, then I'll disclose what's happening. Beyond that, there's nothing else.
Okay, so postage, we're gonna, I think both bumping up to 2,000 instead of that 1,500, and then for copies, I think 3,000, just to be on the safe side.
You said what for copies, what?
3,000.
3,000, okay.
In postage
We're
to
gonna
the.
delete the website, down to legal expenses.
I have a question on the website. You're deleting the website because we don't have one, or are you keeping the website because we intend to build
We
one?
don't have one. There was all great intentions. We got people consultations and stuff in the past. They just haven't never go anywhere. We really don't need it. Century website is a great place for everyone to go to. You can log in with your password and you can download all the documents you need, and it's free. So I think we should utilize.
It's not free, but it's included with the
But
service.
it's included in the.
It's included with the management service.
So we have a website, yeah. So we're just gonna push people to the Century website.
Sounds like a plan.
Why are we triple our legal expenses?
For legal expenses, I think I'd like to be very aggressive this year, going after homeowners who are not paying their HOA fees, so they'll incur some legal fees, as well as, any complaints that are out there that are involved any of our attorneys, that increases the legal fees as well. So we need to budget that in.
So is it-
anytime our attorney is called, they're gonna charge us.
I got it. So should it be our goal to increase the legal fees or try to work better with the homeowners to get them to pay? Because,
I think both, yeah.
well, I mean, when people go to a court, the court is always trying to mitigate what's going on, and it's not supposed to be punitive, punishment and stuff. So I don't know about increasing the legal fees, because I think we're paying some now that maybe we don't need to be
The
paying.
fact that our attorney has to send a notice to a homeowner saying, right?
Why?
Delinquencies, the attorney charges the owner that owes the debt.
Right.
The association is not charged for
Okay,
that fee.
okay.
But we do need that legal fee pot there because we do have other issues where we consult an attorney.
Okay.
Even for frivolous claims that are filed, anytime we have to engage the attorney, we have to pay.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
Well, we have to pay the attorney, but we should also monitor and use the attorney wisely.
That's
And
not on a
only
monthly,
Exactly.
that's
when
not
we
on a
need
monthly
the attorney.
basis. That's on a monthly basis.
What's on a monthly basis?
I review every account on a monthly basis that's delinquent, and the attorney sends me a delinquency status report, which I've sent out to you folks before.
I think we're talking about
So,
these different
I got it. The attorney has to send us a report. You can't run a report from you guys?
No, I don't know what the attorney's done.
Yeah, they
Yeah,
He's
I have
telling
no
us,
idea what-
in his report, he's telling us what he did on that account for the past 30 days.
Oh, what he did on it, I'm not that far, okay? I'm not even that far, because you're talking after we've done something to try to get a homeowner to pay, then we're turned over to attorney.
Okay, here's what Century does. The unit owner becomes delinquent. We send out a pink coupon, which is a reminder to them, hey, you missed it, here's what you owe, send it in to us. We don't get a response after 30 days. We send out a letter saying, hey, 10 days or you're going to the attorney. So they're aware. And then if they don't pay in the 10 days, the following month, if they're on the report again, they go to the attorney. And then the board and management cannot speak to the homeowner.
Fran, when you get that 10-day notice, my question is, when you get the 10-day notice, it comes from your office.
That's correct.
And then they have your number and they can contact you.
That's correct. It's in hopes that they would kind of contact me and say, hey, I have hardship, or I've been deployed, or something.
Right.
Can you work with me?
Right.
And
So-
then we work with them
Right.
first.
Right, so you're saying before we have that person who's behind, that they have an opportunity with you to come to some kind of arrangement. So we said, but once they're sent to that attorney, whatever occurs of fees, that person is incurring those fees and not the HOA.
That's correct.
Okay, so then it makes, so what I'm saying is that how, you get those calls, if you don't get a call, there's still no way for you to maybe that person might be in the hospital or something. You don't have any way.
Because Century Management is not a debt collector.
Correct.
And we have to follow the Fair Debt Collection Act.
Correct.
And that's why we engage an attorney who practices in that law.
Correct.
Who's our treasurer?
I am.
Name.
So, Naomi, as treasurer, do you not fulfill those duties initially without having to involve Century or to involve the attorney, sending out debt collection
That's
notices?
what Frank was just
No.
saying, that we discussed how to treat if somebody is
That's after it
behind.
comes to us though. You don't see it before, right?
No,
It goes
no.
to Century first. We don't see it
Yeah, we
before.
don't see
It
it
goes
first.
to Century first if they're not paying. There's
Right.
no way for us to know they're not paying until the
Also
money
say,
comes.
also make it clear that there's a Fair Act, a Fair Collection Act, and we're not, no one
We're
on the
not
board
attorneys.
is attorneys.
Yeah.
Therefore,
Right.
we shouldn't be
We can't
meddling
collect.
in that portion of it. It should
I'm not
be-
even talking about that.
Okay, cool.
I'm talking about at the first level, sending out a letter, you're late.
We don't see that.
That's
We
what
don't-
I'm saying.
Right, we don't see
Right, but because you as homeowners and we as homeowners don't pay the board, we pay Century.
Yeah.
So we
Y'all
don't
pay,
actually
yeah, we
see
pay
who
Century.
hasn't paid, who hasn't, until it's late or the letter's on.
I understand we don't pay the board, but typically a treasurer fulfills some duties.
Not that one.
Not that one, no treasurer, I mean, does that, we don't, we're not.
Well, I was a treasurer and we did it.
Well, in this case.
And again, we didn't have a management company, and
Oh,
that may
well,
be the
that's why,
difference.
okay, that,
Yeah, it's not self-managed, so some of the authorities have been passed to the management.
Thank you for that. But I have my hand up, been holding for a question. So starting from the CPA service of consultation and legal expense, where I can see we don't have any projected actuals, I think. And over in the 8 months column, we have 0 for CPA consultation and legal expense. We've not used an attorney in 2015.
We just haven't been billed for it yet.
Okay.
And this is effective August. Up top it says 8 months actually.
Okay.
This is August, so it doesn't reflect anything that's happened since August 31.
Okay, so the attorney hasn't been sending out debt collection letters, and the attorney hasn't been filing
Yes,
liens?
but
We
he
haven't
puts
been
those
billed.
charges on
haven't
the
been
unit
billed for
owner's
yet.
account. He collects them directly from the homeowner that owes the debt.
Okay,
He doesn't charge the association.
not even for liens either?
No.
Okay,
It's all on the homeowner.
To be kind of specific, basically what happens is that the attorney agrees that it basically is worth the cost until such time it gets to a point where they believe that it's uncollectible, and then he can charge the association. So in the beginning stages, he absorbs the full cost of the collection activities. If the homeowner actually pays the association back, then he collects his attorney's fees directly from the homeowner. And then if he can't collect those monies, then he'll basically recoup it from the association. So
and how does that tie into the allowance for doubtful accounts, if they're collected?
That's in the event that you have a bankruptcy and you have to write off some debt for a foreclosure or a short sale that didn't have enough equity in the home to pay off not only their first mortgage, maybe there's a second or line of credit, but the HOA lien is down the list.
Way
And you
down.
can only collect 6 months of it. There's some people, I'll tell you, there's one person who hasn't paid since 2012.
Okay,
So is our doubtful account, are we doing an average of doubtful accounts? Or do we have an average amount that they are? Or are we just coming up with a doubtful account amount that we're figuring into our budget? Or should we, up it or lower it, or are we working on an average amount of doubtful accounts?
Allowance for doubtful accounts. So it looks like,
It was increased because you have a more increased collection.
right.
And if we're,
You have more units that are
Right.
delinquent.
But what my question is if we take the overall amount of debt, it's delinquent, are we dividing that in to get an average amount, or are we just coming up with an average amount based on households or not based on the actual debt?
that's hard to do, because again, we can't factor that allowance account until it's at that latest stage.
Well, I understand what you're saying, but what I'm
What was
saying
the
is you
stage
take,
for the last couple of years?
so that's what I'm saying, if you take whatever the
Well,
that's
doubtful
what-
account amount is, and say, last year, this is the amount of accounts that did not pay, and we have not collected on.
Let me tell you this.
Okay.
As of November 30th, which was yesterday, you had $13,560.96 that you've written off because of foreclosures or bankruptcies. You are currently owed $58,396.36 that hasn't been collected, that's out there, and it's not very many. It's not very many people. It's the amount of the debt on that unit.
Can you repeat that amount, the last amount again that's out there?
The delinquent condo dues, $58,396.36.
So that amount's gone down from the previous year.
It may have, I don't know. I'm not even compared.
So your allowance for doubtful accounts should be based on what you're, like if you know you have the numbers that you just stated, you should take a percentage. We know that we're not gonna get at least this certain percent of this money here, so we're gonna have to write it off, plus anything else that you're gonna be charging next year. And this $200,000, I see at least 5% not paying. Your allowance for doubtful accounts should be based on your numbers. So I guess going back to his question, what's the basis for the 10,000?
It's
The
just-
10,000 don't seem like it's going
It's
to be
just
enough.
a calculated number.
It's an estimate.
It's an
We're trying to
estimate.
project.
It's
Which
not
is why
even
we're
a-
having this conversation.
Yeah, it's not.
Because based on what he just said,
It's not enough.
that's not.
Well, let's look at it from a different perspective. Given that this is more like a budget, we're taking incomes over expenses. So the main function of this is really to try to get us an idea of how much actual of that 208,000 we're really going to collect during the current fiscal year. And so it's better to put a number in that's going to give us a more close approximation of what we're actually receiving cash, because those are the expenses we got to pay out in cash. So that's kind of the better way to look at it.
But as you're saying that, if our account, doubtful accounts are low, and then we might be spending more money than we might ever actually take in.
But they're not low, our doubtful accounts. The amount is not low. We have an allowance for doubtful accounts at 13,560. She did an estimate at 10. Our allowance, actually our proposed amount probably should be a little bit higher than 10, right? Somewhere between really 15 and 20. And so,
So we're at 13.
I'm looking at it from a different
Right
perspective.
now, we're paying 13, right?
On this page right here,
I know.
yes. So I'm looking at it from a different perspective, that things
Not
happen
paying
in
it
the
out
economy
right
with
at all.
with real estate. Every account
paying
that
it
we're
out.
not getting money or revenue from, we're spreading the costs. All of us are taking that to a certain degree.
Correct.
Right? So we need to hedge ourselves against for those issues or for those problems. We probably, for that line item, we probably should increase it.
But let me just say, for 2014, our assessments were
We raised our assessments.
39.
Well, yeah, we raised it.
We raised the assessments to
Our
cover
allowance
some
for
of the doubtful accounts.
Our allowance for doubtful account came out to 11,005 for 20.
Right, but,
For 2013.
right, but we raised it. We had to raise the amount to cover the doubtful accounts.
We're on the same page. We're saying the same thing.
Yeah, I know we are, but I'm saying to you, we're in agreement. But what I'm saying to you, when you look back at that previous number, the rate that we had was lower for the assessments. We raised the assessments
Gotcha, okay.
to swallow up some of the doubtful account. And also the reason we went to one-day garbage was to swallow more of the doubtful accounts.
So it should be at least what it was last year.
To put at 15.
We'll do 17.5.
All right,
17.5.
17.5.
17.5.
Right.
And then keeping in mind that, of course, as we tweak these numbers, everything else is gonna fall out,
Yeah.
right?
That's right, Mr. Anderson, we reduced the trash too, to try to charge for that too before.
Down on, under contingency, that number, it was just computer generated, pre-populated, but it's a large number.
What's
So
it
I
for?
wanted something, if you can shed some light on that number.
And the contingency, 8340.
I
Yeah,
have no, again, I don't know. This budget was, some of the numbers that you gave on this budget were inherited by the previous manager, and I have no explanation.
okay. So I'm not 100% sure what that line item number should be.
Right.
That's what I'm saying.
So why did you propose it at so high at that case?
Now, here, based on what Frank was just saying, he's saying we're running about a 10% delinquency rate. Basically, we're not gonna collect 10% out of 208,000. So if we want to budget based on the fact that we're not gonna collect that much money, we're probably run 2080.
21,000.
Yeah, 21,000.
Okay, so it's at 29, so 21,000.
I'm sorry for questioning your methodology, but you don't know what it consists of. You didn't collect it last year, but you put it in there for this year.
Well,
And
this is-
did I miss anything?
This is a different, what I'm doing is trying to basically get our total true receipts for the current fiscal year. So what I'm trying to do is saying, if we know that we're not gonna collect 10% of our total value of the 208, then that means we can't plan for that extra money.
Yeah.
So this is for budgeting purposes, I wanna deduct that from our total collections. So the only way to deduct that is to place it in the allowance column for this, based on the way this document is set up.
But are we talking about the contingency?
We're talking about, this is more about just,
The
this is
allowance
help
for
us to
doubtful
budget
accounts
for.
is what he's talking about,
Yeah.
not the contingency.
Okay,
Okay.
good,
Right.
because I'm on the contingency.
And so where we're
Okay,
going with
good.
the contingency was that we need to do some research on the contingency,
Yes.
but we don't know what the contingency is.
That's my
Okay.
question. That was my
Hey
question.
Frank, was this
Thank you.
platform, pretty much, was this based off of Comanco or versus off with you guys? And Comanco is the previous management company.
They did what?
This particular, what you wanna call it,
Line
line item, was based off of Comanco?
It is funky. I want to completely do this. So it's.
Oh, that's something, or is this a,
It's so funky.
said
Just
this,
inherited it. So
I know.
I'm working with
What
what I
happened
got.
was when the Century transitioned the properties over to us,
Comanco transition?
yes, when we found out what your balance sheet and your revenue and income statement was, we created these accounts based on that information.
Okay.
So we're working off of previous work.
How long you been here, ma'am?
Here, as in the neighborhood,
Yeah.
7 years maybe?
Oh, okay, well, I don't know if you remember, we had a management company called Comanco.
Yes.
This information was merged over, and as I think Atram and Naomi said, this needs to be cleaned up. It never was cleaned up. So this is old information from a previous management company. That's what I got.
So this is.
So down, so,
Prepare, never mind.
so we're gonna get a couple more minutes left.
Got you.
We got a couple more minutes left, so Comanco's gone. So back to that 8340, that contingency line.
The notes that I had says funds for unexpected, non-budgeted, or under-budgeted line items.
Okay, so that's a lot, I think, the 20,000. Yeah,
And that's what I was questioning. Why is it so high when your actual is so low,
Exactly.
yet you projected high for the previous year too?
It's an automatic calculation. That's how
Okay.
Here's the other
spreadsheet
question.
uses the automatic,
Gotcha.
so.
Here's the other question, are contingencies actually built into, like, social grounds maintenance and, bulk pickup, blah, 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 blah? Are there certain cushions built into those numbers?
There should
Should be.
be.
For
I would
contingencies?
recommend that,
I would
yes.
recommend, yeah.
Okay.
I wouldn't put down for your actual budget as the contract amount. I would put in a little bit more.
Okay, so I asked that question to say then that if we do contingencies for each of these things, then we don't have to have a contingency line item?
That's correct.
Yeah, that's why it's $200, so I think.
We can just
Delete it.
eliminate the 20,000 for contingency?
Yeah.
Okay, so then can we just put a caveat right there? If we eliminate this 20,000 for contingency, then we need to go back to these other expenses up here and build in a cushion for contingencies for those, right? Because I'm not sure if we've done that.
The only thing is, it's like throwing a dart. I mean,
Right.
we just don't
No.
know.
Absolutely.
So we can only go, so a better way to look at it is go based on what was done in previous years.
Yeah, I understand the dumping in that line. I don't have a problem with it. I just had a problem with the fact that the number is so large.
Yeah, me too.
There's no methodology for it.
Exactly.
I don't think that we should get rid of the contingency.
I don't understand.
You
It
wanna
should stay,
put it at like,
and be for contingency.
Put it at-
whatever.
You wanna put like 5,000?
Yeah.
I think 5,000 is reasonable, just for.
What it had last.
And I liked her idea too about the contingency in the line items. I mean, that's how you should be budgeting anyway.
Yeah, that's how
But
you do it.
But I still.
But if we stick it in the line items,
Yeah.
I think it's better if we put it in contingency,
Put it
because then we
as-
can use it
put it
anyway.
as a
Yeah.
line-
We
put
need to
it as a
use it
line
rather
item.
than a line item.
Okay.
Leave it in a contingency, cut it in half.
All right,
Just
the
cover
only
it.
other,
That way we can move it around and use it everywhere.
I think
Your
our
library is closing in 30 minutes. The library card,
30
you have
minutes.
15 minutes to get one.
Probably got about
Of
10
course, we
minutes.
issue
Yeah.
after
All right, we're almost there.
we're almost there.
We are almost there, guys.
approximately
Thank you for working with
So
me.
we need to print.
9267,
Save now.
entrance
And don't forget your
monument.
flash drive.
I know it
Little
was,
meeting rooms.
we were
Watching
throwing around
anime.
the idea of possibly getting us, because the new
Please remember to
development
take
that'll be
your
across the
belongings
street
and
from
return
us,
the tables
we
and
want to
chairs
distinguish
to the
our
Thank
neighborhood,
you.
fighting with them. We want to distinguish our neighborhood from that new development that Meeker is going to be putting in across the street. So, and we think one of the ways of doing that, of kind of making ourselves stand out, is to have a better monument, similar to what Colonial Charles has. You know, they've got that big brick wall thing in Colonial Charles. So it was thrown out, the idea of maybe that would be nice to have on Sugarberry entrance and on the Longleaf
The two-
entrance, which is
two
the
first
beginning
entrances.
and, yeah.
Now, it
beginning
wasn't just to
and-
differentiate us, to make us the neighborhood we are.
Right.
Exactly.
Because we are one of the largest, better, the nicer neighborhoods in Waldorf.
Yeah.
And we got that little bitty monument in
Yeah.
one place.
Exactly,
And across the road there, they got this huge thing
yeah.
that makes it look more lively and more people might want to be there.
So,
It's all about aesthetics.
yeah,
I guess.
so, I don't have a number, so that's what I'm asking for, a possible, just to put in the budget.
Doug solicited his person who does the monuments, and that guy is getting some numbers together for us as to what the cost would be to change those three entrances.
And can we
And
also?
You said 2 or 3?
Three. But the Constitution the Constitution entrance will have a wall going this way as opposed, yes. And then the sign will be on both sides with the lights. And then also Doug he's holding off on building putting the monument at the third entrance until we decide what that's gonna be. 'Cause
But
he's
have we
going to-
considered a monument entrance off of small one?
It's not our property.
Yeah.
So that's why I just dumped
Should buy from
6,000 there.
Unless we purchase
And
Probably
I'm-
willing to sell
You know,
it.
if you have these in color, you would know the stuff that I
It's
choose
for sale.
in a different color.
But it would cost you more.
We can talk about that.
So, yes, it would.
It might be in our best
So,
interest.
On the reserve items, are these projected out over the next several years items, or these are like amounts that we want to spend this year? I guess I'm trying to understand.
So with the reserve, these were initiated by the developer when he opened up the community, and he's thinking of what the expected life of these things are, and what the cost will be like 20, 30 years down the road, and then dividing it and making a contribution.
Didn't we do a study on
Yeah,
that?
we also have.
We have a study on that.
Yeah,
Yeah, we had a
reserve
reserve
study.
Oh. How did we jump to reserves?
So then we just need to have it kind of correlated on
Somebody
that.
talk about that.
Yeah,
Yep.
so
Stay on task, Frank.
Right.
Yep.
And then say how much we need to fund each year.
Right.
okay, so I'll revise those,
I think
to be
so.
closer to what was on the reserve study. I can
Yeah.
revise these numbers.
Oh, I see, because they're calling expenses down.
But so I just dumped 6,000 for the entrance. I don't know if that's reasonable or not.
I think we should just leave it like that until we get
Until
more
we-
information.
She has something she wanna say?
No, I was gonna say, I don't think 6,000, if you're doing 3 entrances and there's gonna be
Yeah.
6,000.
Not enough.
Unless somebody's
See,
gonna
part
give you a
of-
really good deal.
Part of the thing is that in Meeker, he was already going to put something on the third entrance.
Who's gonna pay for the
So
third?
whatever money he's putting on that, I'm saying 6,000 plus whatever he was already gonna spend.
So the third entrance, the third monument is the new one.
Then you want
The
the
new
one,
one, yeah.
yeah.
So,
Because he'd have to do that anyway.
so we're just talking Sugarberry and,
Longleaf.
Constitution.
Oh, no,
Well, the
So
small,
that's
one,
long
he's saying
leaf
the
is
small
the
one.
last
huh?
Longleaf's the new.
I
Constitution.
just know from our
Constitution.
neighborhood, it's
It's
expensive.
probably part of the,
Right.
It's not cheap,
so if
it's
not
expensive.
reasonable, you think-
Longview, no, yeah.
I mean, if we're
Asking about for the one that did it.
Well, you guys
Yeah.
probably
You know what
do
we
it
could
going
do?
up the road.
We could just
For just
completely
one, right?
offset the sale of
We
the
wanna do
land
two.
with this number and just put
I think she should
$2,500.
Okay.
Until we see the
What,
numbers.
what was the outcome? Are you up in it?
I'm saying I'm just gonna offset from the money from the land, the $7,500, and just make this expense $7,500. Until we get actual numbers, I'm just gonna make that a wash.
Put them both together, that's 15.
But you,
No, it's zero.
I'm just thinking based on the changes we made.
I thought we put mine.
I see.
that's what?
I said, I think we may be hitting a deficit point.
Not by bringing that contingency number
No,
down.
no, no, I'm just saying in general, based on all the changes I think we've been talking about.
Think so?
We're gonna be hitting a deficit.
So we're
We can
gonna,
put the numbers in.
But with the contingency, we dropped that
I'll
down.
put them in that
Half,
question.
right? Because we only had a surplus of $1,400, so.
Plus the 15,000 from that contingency bucket.
That you took away.
And then
We
we,
added up with
but
all
within-
the stuff.
yeah, we bumped up.
Yeah, but we
Sell
needed a
lot,
couple
huh?
of things too.
I'll let you guys know, I'll plug the numbers in right
For the
now.
website, for instance, that's
Oh,
another
good.
2,400.
That's another, yeah.
Yeah, so I guess-
We deleted, consultations, we deleted
Contingency.
That was
website,
We dropped
6,000,
contingency down to 5, right?
yeah.
So that's 15.
You doubled your account, down for account.
One
Yeah.
question for you, are we getting the, basically at each sale, are we getting the amount that comes from settlement?
Yes, you get capital contributions from each new home that's sold.
So the capital contributions,
That's not even reflected in here.
right, so it's not in this number.
No.
Okay, good, okay.
but that's income.
Yeah, but what happens.
But you can
Can't
only
predict what that's
realize
gonna be
it when it's
comes in.
received,
You had
because
houses sold.
you don't know how many houses is
Correct.
gonna get built and sold in.
Exactly.
I try to get them to break it down by quarter, like in the first quarter, how many houses you're
Right.
gonna sell. We can do that, but they can't do it anymore, because the economy it's still growing again.
And the capital contributions have to walk no longer be relied upon, because they're gonna eventually get to the point where they're phasing it to selling. And then that means you're gonna have enough revenue internally to cover all your expenses without the aid of the capital contribution.
Okay.
We should be back to right a little closer. So I just wanted, that's why I was asking the questions, because I'm trying to, that's why I asked the next question after I asked that. Trying to make sure that this is gonna give us in the long term, whether or not we're gonna hit a surplus of deficit this year, and then whether or not we can engage in discussions on, potential increase to cover a deficit, that's all.
Got it. And I noted your,
Don't think you got a copy of the reserve study, too.
I-
So probably if you can send it out and,
Yeah.
Herschel, they, did you get a copy of the reserve study?
I sent it all out.
She has another question?
I have one thing about community activities for $5,000, what does that entail?
your,
Do we need
picnic day when we have things like the pavilion.
All the social activities we're trying to
Thank
get
you.
started.
Social activities, and I'm not even sure if that includes, family nights, what is that?
Yeah, nights out,
Thank you.
national nights out.
National night out.
That
Nights
shouldn't
out.
be, we shouldn't be paying anything, that should just be piled up, we shouldn't be paying anything. I
People
think
bring
probably,
stuff, right?
the thing we might need to clear, to add to that would probably just be for garbage removal.
But here's the other thing too,
That number's
for
a
people
lot. That's a really high
to
number,
be
too,
more
for that.
inclusive and to
Yeah, we spend
participate,
that
so
money.
sometimes for those activities, it might actually behoove us to spend a little bit of money just to hit the community.
I think we have a lot
out.
of things we need to spend money on that we can give a party.
I agree with you 110%.
But we never spent anywhere near that amount, so that amount's really high.
5,000
That's
for-
really high. It should be more than $500 a year.
Things like National Night Out I dealt with in DC, and with the apartment complexes and stuff there, got with the police department and got people to donate.
Oh, they
Got the stores, people that want to donate, and you work off donations. Nobody's spending any money.
So maybe we could,
I think we should even be concerned about garbage pickup after this.
I'm sorry, one more question, community activities, $5,000.
That's what we just
Yeah.
talking about.
Right, that's what we're talking
But it's-
about. And also, and why after 8 months, we don't have anything here yet?
But
Did we not
because we haven't-
spend anything?
Because we haven't spent anything to do it, but me being a social guy,
We're not
we
gonna spend
want to do, like, I want to do yards of the month, yards of the stuff. I wanna be able to do little things like that for people. Make signs for them to put out in it. I mean, that's money we would spend on for
So
stuff
we
like
get
that.
people
And it incentivizes them to keep their yard clean.
People to do that, be voluntary.
Because some people's
Oh,
yards
yeah,
are
but
ugly.
I don't think we should be collecting for that.
That is perfect.
And I think we should be collecting to clean
I
up.
think we should cut the
that
baby in
too.
half, maybe
Oh.
2,500.
Yeah.
Just in case, I just wanna do
That's,
something for everybody
that's
to get
gruesome.
together.
That's like a Game of Thrones kind of thing,
Yeah,
cutting
I
babies in
think we should
half.
have a budget of just one number with like.
I want to do best Christmas lights.
$1,000,
Make the best Christmas lights.
Yeah.
We're running a deficit,
Second.
it's gonna be a
Can't do
thousand.
that.
We've
1,000 is
also,
reasonable.
even with Herschel, we've also gone to the development company to make contributions. We've gone to Ryan Homes to make contributions. We've
Very
actually got a contribution from the guy who just did the car wash, and who's willing to be an active member of the community. We've also had the car wash employ 3 kids from the community. And we're looking to have any place that we patronize and we spend our dollars, and we walk into these restaurants and places like that, we don't see any of our kids working there. I'm pulling the manager to the side and asking them what's going on now. I sent 2 kids over to New Silver Diner, but they didn't work out based on their aptitude on the application. But doesn't,
You try.
these 2 guys are wondering. But we've got 3 so far who've been working at the car wash, and they've been, maintaining, your kids are a little too young, maintaining their grades. That's one of his biggest sticklers that he has, the owner Roz he has. And he has a study hall in that car wash and make sure that they're doing their books, and each kid has to show.
Rod, one more thing,
Report card, sorry.
the tot lot, $2,700.
I don't think that's enough.
Yeah, it needs to be probably a bit
No,
more.
that's not enough.
I think
Because
that's
you gotta think about
kids
the
come over
changes
and
In
that-
my opinion, we need to renovate that
We
thing.
need to
That's
put the
my
right
opinion.
kind of mulch down in there. We still ain't put the right kind in there yet.
How about we try to budget for the next time to put the actual padding down, so we don't have to change that out?
If you put down the padding, the problem that you're gonna come in with the padding, once again, is that, they have to have that wood down because of the padding, the kids will lick it, and anything that's rubber or plastic is toxic.
Gotcha. Okay.
So
Understand.
we're
I
just
saw
gonna,
something
tot
like
lot, $2,700, just,
You need to make that on a 5.
For what?
It's already rubber, the bottom of the top lot is already
I'm
rubber.
talking about the cushioning, the wood fiber, you still haven't put down the right wood fibers
but
yet.
is that $5,000 for fiber?
Fiber's probably gonna be a lot more expensive than the fiber you guys been getting, you
We
still haven't getting the right kind.
probably want to move away from any rubberized medium.
Exactly.
Yeah, I saw
Cancer
that.
cause.
I saw that, yeah.
There's another,
Inhaling that
there's
stuff.
something else, well, so.
It's been in the news.
I got the book, and I got the quote for it, it's like around 5.
For the rubber?
No, for the wood.
So he's talking
The
about a
wood
safer
fiber?
material.
Yeah,
The wood fiber that goes in.
the proper wood fiber.
But is wood good for little meat?
Yeah,
I
yep,
don't know.
yep.
So question,
Yes.
for expanding the top lot, because we're getting more homes, would
Supposed to
that
be getting a new type.
price need to increase, or is the developer gonna
I
have
don't
to
know
ask
if
me?
we plan on expanding.
I mean, we can ask Meeker
Well,
because we are getting more homes.
we've already been talking to Doug Meeker about expanding that top lot.
It needs to be like that whole area.
We're hoping that we don't absorb any of it.
Okay, so I'm gonna leave it at this 2,700
Yeah,
then.
that's
Sounds
fine.
good.
That's not enough.
All right.
But if Shamika's gonna pick up the cost, then
Yep.
that's why I'm gonna leave it at 2,700. So it looks like we're at a $1,200 surplus. So that's where we landed, $1,200, so. That looks like where we landed. I'll clean this up. I'll go and take the numbers from the reserve study just to make sure that we're on par with that.
Can I just make sure we're on the same page with the numbers, just from what I reported? Allowance for doubtful accounts,
Yeah, go ahead. 21,000.
21.
I changed that to 21,000. I also changed I just threw in 15, put in 15,000 on the grounds maintenance, but I'll spread that after. I just threw it in there. The snow pushing, I changed that to 1,200.
Okay, because I had it at 20. Okay, go ahead. 12 and 1,000.
Increased the postage to 2,000, increased copies to 3,000. Deleted the consultation at $2,000.
Did you delete the website?
Delete the website. The contingencies 5,000.
Monument.
Monuments kept 7,500.
7,500.
So those are the changes.
I would just put the 1,200 in with the monuments.
I also don't know that we need to increase the postage and copies because we have a lot that was done at that 15 cents, which is triple what it would have cost. So when we get that, and we didn't spend that amount,
Oh, okay.
You know, what I mean, we didn't hit our 26 and 1,500, and that's with the increased expenditure.
But let me ask you this,
That's
I think
about
we're gonna be
$300.
sending out more.
We
Yeah.
can send 3 times as much as what we sent at the same price.
Right.
Okay,
5 cents a cup.
so,
Right.
you think we should knock it down to?
I think we should probably keep it where it was.
Yeah, it's about $300 off.
It was at 1,500 and 2,600, so
Right.
I'm gonna increase it a little bit.
But still, it gives another grand of.
May I have your attention, please? Your library is closing in 15 minutes.
15?
No new cards will be issued.
Last question, are you trying to get to a zero budget or a 1,200 surplus is fine?
We're just trying to, more realistic budget, we don't care, I don't care.
Yeah, because there's nothing wrong with surpluses, I mean,
Yeah, we don't care what you do.
I'm just saying, it works itself out in the end.
That's right. Any other questions?
Move to adjourn.
Sir?
Thank you, guys.
Hey, if you all know anybody that wants to do some caroling, I want to get caroling in the neighborhood, so we can go Christmas carol.
If I could
in the
say,
neighborhood. You ain't even got a thing to do. It's a big crowd of people, they won't hear you. I'm just saying, if y'all know people that want to do it, let me know, tell them to do it, so we can get out there and do it on a specific day.
I'll listen.
Well, I try to get them to shoot an email out.
So is this budget getting passed? I didn't see any motion to do anything, or are you coming back?
I wanna clean it up.
We're gonna
clean the numbers, yeah.
I'm just saying.
Yeah, I want to clean up for the reserve numbers, make it easier for me to recirculate it.
Okay.
We can,
Then are we coming back for this recirculation, or is this coming through the mail? Like, what's the next step?
can the
Actually,
board just vote on
a
the?
budget meeting and coupons should be ordered before Thanksgiving, so now you're looking at, you might not get your coupons until late
Thanksgiving.
January or February.
This is ordered by Thanksgiving.
Thanksgiving time.
I know.
For the HOA coupons?
Yeah.
Got it.
Because I have to turn in, a budget.
That's what we've been saying.
Right.
She was talking about, we need to modernize, we need to
I know.
update, we
Who's
need
getting
to
coupons?
digitize, we need to.
Every year.
Oh my goodness.
Every year.
Need to upgrade our.
You did it for the whole year?
You can go online.
Yeah, we're gonna put it.
Yeah, are you recirculating to another meeting?
Do you want to put it down?
I am. That was.
Hold up.
I think you have to be with
Hold up.
So you good with the Cowboys?
I did.
It's not gonna be big, didn't say, there's not gonna be.
Why? What do you guys think?
You go down there.
That's all we did.
Hold it. Hold up, guys.
I thought you adjourned, sorry.
We'd like to call a
No.
motion,
I move that we approve the budget with the, revisions that we discussed.
Are you finished? A second. Aye. Aye.
all in
All in
favor?
favor? Okay.
Well, thank goodness a motion was made.
So just ask the neighbor. Carolyn, yeah, you get out there and do something.
Yeah.
I can't either, but if we all get together, we make it. If you ask around. Okay. Now, shoot me a message, and we'll shoot this in line. Okay. I'll come over today and I'll talk to you. Saturday evening, for everybody to come in. I think Santa Claus is supposed to come through tonight. Oh, the front truck, yeah. No, tonight was Saturday. Hopefully he didn't come through tonight. And hopefully it's Saturday. All right, all right.
Yay.